How's it going today? Glad to have you back. Today, I want to cover something called a covered call. A covered call. Now, what a covered call is when you have 100 shares of a stock and you want to make money on the stock, whether it has dividend or not, you want to make some money on that stock. Last year, in September last year, I wasn't sure. I didn't know about the covered call option. So I had a stock that I thought was a worthless stock, FRO, which is Frontline. And I looked at that stock and I said, well, it stopped the dividends, and I'm a dividend investor. And there's no way to make money on a dividend investment that doesn't have a dividend. So at that time, I had 100 shares of my favorite stock at the time was FRO. I told this other person, I like FRO, you're gonna buy FRO, this. And the first time it was 70 cents a share, and then it went down to 50 cents a share a quarter later, and then boom, they pulled the dividend. I said, no way! So the way you can make money off something like that, which is one of those stocks that stop paying a dividend, or this is a tanker stock. I had two other tanker stocks that they dropped the dividend way down. One of them was like at 2.3%, and the other one was another low ball figure. And it was like, I can't make money off these stocks. Now, if I had 100 shares of FRO today, which I don't, you could do something called a covered call, which gives a person the option to buy the stock, but not the necessity to buy the stock at a certain price called a strike price. So at the time, I sold 100 shares of stock. I believe it was less than $7. Now, if I would have had it at $6.65, for instance, or $6.55, or whatever I did my market, a market sale is when it hits this price. What a market sale is, I got these 99 shares, sell it at whatever you can get for it. Market right now. I could have put in a limit order to sell it at $7 and still got $7. But if I do a covered call, I give people the option to buy that stock at a certain price, say $7. Which means instead of selling it out at the time when I did, I think it was $6.55 or $6.65 or $6.55, which was not what I wanted to sell it at. I would have rather sold it at $7 if I would have put in a covered call, and they had a covered call for $1. I believe it was FRO for $1. So they would pay $1 to let me sell them that stock for $7. So now it's like me selling the stock for $8. Okay, because for every share they wanted to buy the right to buy that stock for $7. I should have done it. I would have made $100 up front. They give me $100, whether they buy the stock or not. Boom, it's $100 in my pocket right now. If it never reaches $7, I keep Frontline stock, and then I could do another covered call. It may not be for $1, it may be for 50 cents or 65 cents or whatever they're paying per share. But you can milk that stock like a cow. Milk. And if it never reaches the $7, you're still making an income. And as a dividend investor, I want to make an income on that stock. So I was looking at a couple of stocks. Nate. It's at Nate is Nordic Atlantic Tankers. It's selling at $3.65 the last time I looked at it, and there's a covered call on that for $4. It only pays 2 cents, so I'm going to make 20. If you had 100 shares, you'd make $20. But it expires in 17 days. So you would make, not only would you make the 35 cents more, but you make another 2 cents, so that's $20. So for renting the right for them to purchase the stock at $4, the right but not the obligation, which means they don't have to buy it. They don't have to buy it. But giving them that opportunity, they're going to pay you $20 up front. And you're going to buy that stock at a higher price than it is today. So unfortunately, you have to pay the capital gains but at least, the stock that was only giving you a 2.3% yield, you just brought that up another 0.5% right there. You do have to pay the capital gains. Now the other one I was looking at was DHT. DHT is another tanker stock. It's currently at $6.53, and I looked at the strike price for $7. If I looked at it correctly, so that's like another 7 cents on DHT. If I had 100 shares, instead of selling it at the lower price, I would build in the profit that I want. Have to pay the capital gains, yes, but still, they were giving me 5 cents a share, so that's $50. Wait a second, 2 cents times 100 is $2. 5 cents per 100 is $5. I'm sorry, I stand corrected. So you make an extra 1%, 0.5%. The longer it is, you have to go by, you take the price of the stock, say it's $6.53. You divide that by the 5 cents and it will give you the percentage. So let's see, 6.53 divided real quickly, $6 for 5 cents per share divided by the 6.53, it gives you 0.7% that you add. If you're trying to get rid of the stock anyway, do it through a covered call. Don't do a market, or for me, I'm going to stop doing market order sales unless I have less than 100 shares. If I have less than 100 shares, then I'm going to do, I want to do covered calls for myself. I want to amass 100 shares of stocks that I like, do covered calls so that I can increase the income. I'm thinking about doing that for the ORC shares I have. Once I have it 100, I might not do that, but I might do it depending on what the current price is and what the current price of ORC is. Whatever the current price of ORC is, 100 shares, then I will reinvest the money that I get from the covered call to buy more ORC. And then if it hits the strike price and they buy it, then if it hits the strike price and they buy it, I've built in my profit. It'll buy the shares. It'll buy the shares. And then I'll still have my covered call profit. It's a way to increase your yield. Now, really quickly, they have something called a covered call ETF. An ETF buys a huge amount of different companies. Okay, they'll buy a huge different number of companies, and then they'll have a small fee. But now instead of buying one stock in one company, you buy an ETF which covers a bunch of different companies. Could be 100 companies, could be 40 companies, could be 30 companies, whatever it is. And to increase the yield of that, then they'll sell a covered call and then put the money back in as a distribution. I'm going to be covering that in a later video. A lot of people like one particular covered call ETF that I want to cover in a later video. But at this point, I wanted to make the understanding of a covered call. Now, there's 3 ways to look at this. The first, they never buy it. Okay, they don't exercise their option, you just keep the money. That's the first thing that can happen to you. The second thing that can happen to you is that they do exercise that option, and then you take that money and then you take your profit, and then you either buy the same stock or a different stock, or you can put in a limit order for when it goes back down to the price that you want to buy the stock at. That's another way that you can make some money. So at this time, a covered call not the ETF, but a covered call on the stocks that I don't like anymore. The tanker stocks, you can still make money off them if you have 100 shares by selling the covered call. And that will bring, sometimes it can bring you another 10% a year, sometimes it'll bring you another 5% a year. It depends what the covered call is and the price of the stock and the price of the new price at the strike price. So if it's $7 and you buy it for $6.65, you'll still make the 35 cents, plus you'll make the other money. So at this time, if you have any questions, put them down below. But a covered call is a way to take a stock that is making a dividend, it'll increase your yield. If it doesn't have a dividend, it'll give you a yield. So anytime that you have any questions, put them down below, and I'll see you on the next video. Thanks.